So this is so in April, but it's making the rounds now because I believe a student initially leaked it, and then I think it went to the New York Times. So all the sources are available at loudwithcrowder.com. A psychiatrist, I'm going to try and get this name right, Dr. Aruna Khilanani. Dr. Aruna Khilanani?
Khilanani? No.
Khilanani gave a talk to Yale med students, and it was titled "The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind."
Oh.
And look, I know what you're thinking. Oh, you know what? That's just meant to be an attention grabber. Right.
Yeah, clickbait.
It'll be, as the young progressives like to say, a nuanced conversation. By the way, nuance is a word that dummies use when they simply can't actually explain the intricacies of an issue. Anyway, the audio was leaked, and you would think that, again, the title is Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. It's actually worse than you expect. Here, she talks about shooting white people in the head. Here's the audio.
I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless. With a bouncing like that, like I did the world a f***ing favor.
Oh,
wow, okay.
On its surface, that would seem pretty bad. Now, this is the professor again. The name, she's a psychiatrist, Khilanani.
We should play poker sometime.
Khilanani. All right, guys, this is getting a little crazy. This is not The View here.
Yeah.
No, we'd all need to, get a significantly higher BMI. I don't know if that's a prerequisite at The View.
Might be.
This psychiatrist has also been posting tons of anti-white videos. Yeah. And I hate this when people go anti-white, Look, I've always said I don't identify with my whiteness just because it's not really something, as a French Canadian, and I had friends who were Irish, Italian. Like, I'm not ashamed of being white, but it's not something that I really have seen as integral to my identity. So I don't really like doing the white-black thing. But I do think there's hypocrisy when you look at movements like Black Lives Matter and you look at people telling you to shut up because of your white privilege. I do think that does definitely... It's racist. It absolutely is racist. Yes. There is anti-white racism right now, and it is the only acceptable racism. And I think racism against anyone of any kind is unacceptable. So here is this psychiatrist who speaks to students, who lectures at the Ivy League. This is why it's very important when people equate education with being informed, because part of your formal education is listening to a broad like this. Here are some of her TikTok videos.
Number one, the feeling of pity. I usually know when I'm talking to a white person because they always will attempt to invoke a feeling of pity in me. Apparently this works amongst white people. I don't think that they get that my internal response to that is I'm trying to pick the little leeches off of me. Number two, arguing. This will always be a white person who wants to flip the conversation to get you to answer their questions. They need a psychopathic level of control.
White person asking questions.
Have to tell you about
they're also paying her for that.
That's true. Exit. Number three.
Then she opens it to a Q&A with students.
Rarely have a conversation with a white person without them needing to compare themselves to me or their life to mine.
It's called relating to somebody. Read some Dale Carnegie, sweetheart.
Don't be fooled. This is their entitlement.
At least the smile
it's entitlement to try and relate to somebody.
Good job. You picked good company.
She should read her
always
sweatshirt.
Felt uncomfortable and attacked
Rocky Marciano, stepping right up.
Every interaction with a white person, and I didn't get why. The most violent attack on me was always a white woman. And yet, every time I brought it up, it was discounted, dismissed, or I was told
maybe
that I was
because you're the lady who cried White Wolf.
Put into words exactly what was
how
happening.
often are you attacked? And by attack, do you mean being asked a question?
And I knew something else, another culture,
Take off your shirt because of the Detroit
thing. I grew up with music, the rhythm, the beat, and oneness. So I began training like the Cobra Kai. I became a psychiatrist. I specialized in forensic psychiatry, which is all about methodology around reality. And then I went on to do 5 years of training in psychoanalysis, the unconscious. During this time, I was attacked through interpretations
how often
by my
is she getting attacked?
And suggestions.
Does she have a kick me sign and she just doesn't know because all the students hate her?
6 Asian women were murdered. And all white people
So she fell asleep during Karate Kid and woke up during Inception?
Asian racism just started with Corona.
All white people sound the same.
It was about sex. We're not sure it was racist. This is new. We're offended. You are the racist. Yeah?
Well,
so
you
why
are.
Did this mother go to a juice bar? Or the opera? Or a yoga rejuve? Or a fucking lacrosse game?
hold on a second. You would clearly
staring them right
be the
in
standout
face.
player at a
It will
yoga
always
redo.
be something else.
Yeah, for sure.
We gotta
They'd be asking you
protect
for
the
private
baby
lessons.
cubs of America, the little white killers, because that's who they all are and what they all have in common.
Little white
Little
killers.
white killers. Now, if there's any justice in this world, poetic justice, YouTube would remove this for attacking people's immutable characteristics because we showed her clips. But obviously they won't because these clips are available everywhere. I can't think. Look, if we look at the textbook definition of racism, and I don't mean how leftists want to project racism. Have you seen a more clear-cut example?
No.
Never.
Wow.
And this is what they're teaching your children in college, and now we want to extend that, to 17 years, taxpayer funded by Joe Biden? It's one of those things where people say, oh, white people right now, you think you're... No, I don't think that white people are victims, but you do have to acknowledge that at this point, when you create marginalized status and victim status, and we mean that in the sense of releasing people who are criminals, serial violent offenders, based on the color of their skin, or giving people citizenship that they have not earned, or allowing people to break the law based on their gender, based on their orientation, based on the color of their skin, and the only permissible what you would consider hate speech is against white people. You just said when they have their little white killers, you're talking about children. Now, I thought that we used to believe when we were being raised, right, that racism is societal, that it's not inherent. But you just said that all white people are beyond redemption because little white killers. You hate white people.
All of them, by the way.
Yep.
And
all of them.
5 years ago, she started distancing herself from friends that were white. She cut them out of her life because simply being white was too much for her. Right. This lady's a psychopath.
I was barely turned on.
It's better than the dirty talking. Than
I don't
Kamala
understand.
Harris.
I know. And
you know what's funny about this too? She was actually pushing the university to release the tape of her saying that I had fantasies about.
Talk about a lack of self-awareness.
She was proud of it.
She thought that would look good for her.
Exactly.
You
That's
know
the
why?
point.
Because I bet you the students.
Yeah.
Golf clap.
That's right.
Well, and also because society's kind of saying it's good for you to say stuff like that.
Think about this for a second. Whether you like Ben Shapiro or not, there were riots at Berkeley.
Yeah.
I know Andy Ngo is doing the Antifa stuff. We infiltrated Antifa years ago where they handed us a knife and an ice pick to stab Ben Shapiro. They went to go get sawed-off shotguns. Right, let's just be clear about this. We had people arrested for that. Ben Shapiro, they have a problem with him speaking, and this is just another lecture, another adjunct.
It's beautiful and brave.
So actually right now, just to try and drive this point home, there's this incorrect notion, of course, that we're talking about, that you can't be racist toward a white person. I think people shouldn't be racist toward anybody, but I do see some anti-white racism out there. So just to show you how racist this broad actually is, Quarter Black Garrett is going to, first off, before we do it, show them the picture of your dad. Quarter Black Garrett. A lot of people don't believe that he actually is
It's
African American.
Right there.
Yeah,
You see that?
that's a 23andMe equivalent. He's a lovely man, by the way.
Half Negro.
He is
All right.
half okay.
And that's the last thing he left when he left to get cigarettes.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for him to come back.
Waiting to come back with those cools.
Yeah.
20 years later.
So
Menthols, bro.
Quarter Black Garrett is going to read verbatim what this psychiatrist and lecturing, I guess, sort of part-time professor, only switching the words white to black. So Garrett, your segment is...
Hit that music.
It is what?
Quarter Black Garrett reads this lady's name. I can't read this name. What is it? Aruna Khilanani. Quotes verbatim, but changes white to black.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Black people are out of their minds and have been for a long time.
That's not so bad.
All right, that's not too bad. Let's go to the next one.
Great.
Let's go to the next
A little
one.
awkward.
This is the cost of talking to black people at all. The cost of our own life. As they suck you dry. There are no good apples out there. Black people make my blood boil. All right, okay, that's fine. I'll go to the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into a head of a black person that got in my way, burying their body and wiping my bloody hands and walking away relatively guiltless. That's right. Like I did the world a f***ing favor.
Don't show me on screen. This is someone else's show. All right, there you go. Thanks, Garrett. Quarter Black.
Yeah,
you're just to be clear, all those sources are available at louderwithcrowder.com?
Yes, down in the description.
That's what she wrote?
That is exactly
Verbatim?
that's what she wrote. Verbatim.
Sounds nicer when you say it.
Hey, thanks, man.
I guess, right?
It actually, there's less actual seething anger coming out.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
A man who actually, has dealt with the black struggle as opposed to whatever she thinks she is.
Yeah. Whoever did her wrong, we're all paying the price.
Yeah, I'm sorry that somebody left you.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.